Welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspiration. Good morning to you. And it's a beautiful sunny morning in St. Louis, Missouri today. Hope it's wonderful wherever you are in the world. And today's topic is going to be, what is today? How do I say today's topic? It's going to be about a creator. There was a creator that I follow or watch or subscribe to that really rose up, I won't say fast because I think he was here a few years, but then all of a sudden he kind of hit it big and got a lot of subscribers and was really doing great. And he made the mistake of saying something, well, I think it was a mistake. But the reason I wanted to bring it up was because I was reading the comments in the comments section. He's having a beef with another creator, and he said some things about the other creator that maybe he would have been better off not to say. Now, here's the deal. I want to say everybody wants to be famous. I know everybody doesn't want to be famous, of course, but many people do. But it's amazing how the public or your fans will just, one minute they're building you up, the next minute they're tearing you down. If you make one mistake, get carried away and do something that maybe you shouldn't have done, you can't take it back. So I was reading the comments in the comments section, and it's like 99% of the comments were just bashing him for what he did. Now, I'm not saying what he did was right or wrong. I think my personal opinion, if he hadn't have said it, he would have been better off. But no one's perfect. It's real easy to get caught up in the fame and the hype and just get carried away. The problem is if you get carried away in the public, where it's filmed and on media and everywhere, so to speak. He deleted the video, but of course some people copied it, and the opposing party, the person that he's having the beef with, they of course copied some, and they made a video on what he said about them, which I understand that. I don't blame them, or I'm not condoning or saying that was wrong what they did. I guess my whole point is this, for you, my viewers, subscribers, anytime you're stepping out, or as my old mentor says, one of my mentors says, if you are on the firing lines of life, you're going to get fired at. No one is perfect in speech. Everybody makes mistakes. Some are big mistakes, some are small mistakes. And it really troubled me that this happened. I just hate to see someone fall because of one error. And of course, when he made the error, then people started digging to see if everything he had been talking about was true, and they found some things that were questionable or contradictory to what he was talking about. It doesn't negate the facts. The facts that he talks about, or the points that he makes, are verifiable, and I agree with most of them. Okay, but when they started digging into his personal life or some of those things, it looked questionable whether he was really the type of man he portrayed himself to be. So I guess what I'm saying is that showed a lack of integrity. But I had to look at myself and ask myself, why is this bothering me? What is it within myself that I need to be wary of or to take a look at? Am I being integrous in everything I do? What if I were in this situation? What is it reflecting back to me? Anytime you see a situation that affects you, I don't want to say affects you emotionally, but makes an impression upon you, you need to look within yourself. I know I do. I need to look within myself. I should say it that way. I think we all do. We need to look within ourselves and see what is that saying to me. It's not so much about whether this man made a mistake, didn't make a mistake, is who he says he is or is not who he says he is. I really don't know. And you can't go by what other people post on social media, because it can be distorted, it can be taken out of context, and unless you see the whole picture, and even when you see the whole picture, you can't see the whole picture. You're limited by your 5 senses. Okay, we can never see the whole picture. So we judge by this. And I do the same thing, but I have to remember I can't see the whole picture. You can, excuse me, you can slant anything the way you want to, or whoever's doing the slanting. Excuse me, that's obvious by our elections and the propaganda that's put out against each candidate, against them or for them. Nowadays, it's almost like they can put out whatever they want to, whether it's true or not. It looks true, but it may not be true. They edit videos, they change words, they do all kinds of things, which back in my time, you would get in a lot of trouble for. But now, it's no big deal. So remember that. If you have a favorite creator, whoever it may be, you may know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to mention his name because I'm not going to get involved in the gossip. I'm only using this as an example to try to help you and to help myself to see what I can learn from this. As I said, it may be a mistake, it may not, maybe it will propel him. Maybe he can learn from it. Maybe it's a setup between those two creators to draw more attention. I mean, here you go. I'm talking about it, even though I'm not mentioning the names of the creators. So you never know about things like this. It could have been purposely done. I don't think so, but that's possible. You see how these fighters like Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather, they get on there and do these things and act like they're going to kill each other. But whether or not that it's just hype, a show, or they really feel that way about each other, I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't particularly like that kind of hype, but it's a promotion technique, and it really works. But use these things, anything. It can be anything. It could be your mentor. Maybe he screws up. Maybe he steps out of line. Don't condemn him for it, but look at it and see what you can glean. What can you learn from that to improve yourself, to better yourself, to propel you towards your goals, or to keep you from making the apparent mistakes, if they are mistakes or not, that you won't make the same ones. If we could all learn by other people's mistakes, wouldn't the world be a wonderful place? They tell us that they teach us history in school to keep us from repeating it, but yet we continue to repeat history. As I see the direction the U.S. is going, this is way off topic, I can see other civilizations in history that did the same thing that we're doing now. Yes, it was a different time, but we're doing the same things. We repeat history constantly as human beings. But you as an individual do not have to repeat history, your history. You can learn from your mistakes. Now, granted, sometimes you have to make the same mistake over and over and over again. You may even feel stupid, but you're not. I've made the same mistake. How many times have I made the same mistake? I've been married 4 times, right? Okay. Every girl that I married had a different face, but she was the same girl. Hopefully, I've learned my lesson now. What, the lesson is not to get married? No, the lesson is everywhere you go, there you are. So unless I deal with the situation, which is within me, that is attracting these types of women to myself, I'll continue to do the same thing until I die. As a matter of fact, I was laying in bed with my last girlfriend a year and a half ago, whatever it was, 2 years, I don't know, I don't remember. And we were discussing the current situation, the status between us, and she said, why don't you just leave? Something like that. And I said, well, here's the deal. If I leave, I'll find myself, I was trying to deal with the situation. I'll find myself laying in bed with another girl. She won't look like you, but she'll be you. Everywhere you go, there you are. So remember that you cannot run away from yourself. These situations or problems in relationships or whatever it may be, you are creating them. It's coming from within you. And until you discover what that is within you, what you need to change, you will continue to outpicture this in your world. Many people think they can change this or change that. I see a lot of people out there, especially in the U.S., trying to get everyone to accept them. to accept their views, their ideas, like if the public or the population would just accept them and call them by certain names or certain pronouns or whatever it happens to be, that they would be okay. But it really doesn't matter. We all need to accept ourselves. Then it doesn't matter what you call me. You can call me whatever you want to. If I accept myself and I'm happy with me, why does it matter what you call me? What terms you use to describe me? I've been called many things. I don't care. What does it matter? Unless I feel like I am that and I don't accept myself, then if you call me a certain name or call me by a certain title, then I get upset. But I have a friend of mine I've mentored for years. We're friends now, 28 years, something like that, 27. And he's got a saying, they can't get your goat unless you've got a goat to get. So think about that. If someone upsets you by what they call you or what they say to you, that has nothing to do with that person. Are you that? If you are, then you need to take a look at why you can't accept what you are. If you're not, so what? What does it matter? Now, I may think a little differently if somebody calls me a SOB, because then they're talking about my mother. But most people that say that they're not really talking about your mother. Okay, but if someone badmouths, my mom's passed on, but if someone badmouths a friend of mine or one of my kids, if it's true, well, that's the way it is. But now if they physically if they physically bother them, that's a different deal. Then I'll stand up for them. Unless they brought it on themselves. Actually, I had one time here where my sons had got into a fight with this guy. I thought they ganged up on him, but the father came here, and he was a tough former ex-Marine. There was 3 or 4 of my boys, and I talked to him, and I appreciated him coming over here to settle this, so I let my boys talk to him. And I thought, if they don't get this straightened out, and this man, because my boys were 18 and older, one of them was 17, I think the other one was 15, 16. I thought to myself, now if they get into a fight, I'm going to let it go, unless of course this man gets them down and starts pummeling them on the ground. I wouldn't let that happen, then I would jump in. But my boys acted like men, so they need to face the consequences of being men. And I appreciated this guy, that he came over here and faced. He had no idea what he was walking into when he came over here. Most people call the police. But anyway, they settled it amongst themselves as men. And that's what we need to do more of today, as men. And I'll back up to the situation I first started out with about this creator. He insulted another creator, so they have this beef going. And I believe the other creator called him out to a fight or something. I didn't watch all the details, and the video was deleted, so I didn't get to see what actually happened. I'm just going by the hearsay. If you want to know, you'll have to figure out who I'm talking about and go check it out. But this one man called the other man out. Now, I'm not saying they should go fight each other, but as men, if you're going to go bad-mouthing someone about something, you have to be ready to stand up and face the consequences. So as I let my boys face the consequences of their actions, and it worked out. They discussed it as men. There were 4 of them, the man that came over and my 3 boys, and it worked out. Okay, now that's how kids, boys, young men, learn to be men, to stand up to a man and work things out, or fight it out if need be. That's just the way we are. Now, you can run to the police every time you have a problem, or you can stand up to a man and deal with it. The problem is today, too many times we want the authorities to take care of problems that we created ourselves. We need to confront our problems as men and deal with it. And regardless of how it goes, when you're done and you face it yourself, you feel like more of a man because you acted manly. All right, that's it. I hope that's been of value to you. Smash that like button and subscribe. Welcome to my new subscribers. And leave a comment in the comment section if you would like me to speak on something. And I will see you tomorrow.